What if I told you that an apparently trivial choice, something most drivers don't think twice about, can be the decisive factor between an engine that wears out at 200,000 kilometers and one that easily surpasses 600,000 kilometers? The car is the same, the engine, the driver, and the route are the same. The only variable was the lubricating oil. We put this to the test using three viscosities that are extremely common in Brazil: 0w-20, 5w-30, and 5w-40. And here comes the part that usually makes people uncomfortable. The oil recommended by the manufacturer was not the one that best protected the engine. Quite the opposite. In practical testing, it showed more wear, higher temperatures, and faster degradation, all while being fully approved in the owner's manual. What you're about to read is not forum opinion or guesswork. These are real data. Used oil analysis, thermal behavior, wear metals, and direct impact on durability. By the end, you'll understand exactly which oil preserves an engine for the long haul and which one trades longevity for fuel economy and emissions. The results surprised even professionals with decades of shop experience. 1. Why this test matters more than it seems. Any discussion about engine oil in Brazil quickly turns into an argument. Some defend thin oils as modern technology. Others swear thicker oil means an eternal engine. And someone always says, just follow the manual. The problem is that almost no one understands what the manual is actually written for. It is not written with maximum engine longevity in mind. It exists to meet fuel economy targets, emissions regulations, noise limits, environmental standards, and warranty costs. Not heavy traffic, intense heat, severe use, long highway runs, or high mileage engines, situations that are extremely common in the Brazilian reality. Instead of theory, we put the engine to work and let the numbers speak. 2. The test engine. No tricks or artificial scenarios. We used a modern, naturally aspirated four-cylinder with direct injection and tight factory tolerances, exactly the standard found in most current cars in Brazil. Usage was real-world: heavy urban traffic, highway driving, same fuel, same oil change intervals, same filters. The only variable was the oil viscosity. First phase, 0w-20 synthetic. Second phase, 5w-30 synthetic. Third phase, 5w-40 synthetic. Each oil ran for approximately 10,000 to 12,000 kilometers with laboratory analysis, thermal monitoring, and internal inspection. No marketing, just results. 3. What changes when viscosity changes? Before the numbers, it's important to understand what's at stake. 0w-20 is extremely thin at operating temperature. This reduces internal friction and improves fuel economy, usually by 3 to 5%, roughly 0.3 to 0.5 kilometers per liter. The problem is that this advantage comes with a thinner oil film and a smaller safety margin when the engine is hot or under load. 5w-30 is the classic middle ground: good cold start flow and a stronger oil film at high temperature. Historically, it has always been the balance point between efficiency and durability. 5w-40 is thicker at operating temperature. It handles heat, severe use, and long periods under load better, with excellent shear stability. The question is simple: which one protects the engine best in the real Brazilian world? 4. Results with 0w-20. Starting with the manufacturer's favorite. The 0w-20 had clear positives: very fast lubrication at startup, lower internal friction, and the best fuel economy of the test, about 0.4 kilometers per liter better. But internally, the data told another story. Average oil temperature was 4 to 7 degrees Celsius higher. Viscosity dropped about 12% by the end of the interval. Oil analysis showed a significant increase in iron and aluminum, clear indicators of wear. Not catastrophic, but constant wear. During valve train inspection, early varnish formation and premature oil darkening were visible, along with a weaker residual oil film after shutdown. Technical conclusion: 0w-20 works, but it operates at the limit. It does not tolerate excessive heat or severe use well. 5. The hidden weakness of 0w-20. The main issue is the reduced safety margin. In heavy traffic, hot climates, long highway runs, or in higher mileage engines, common realities in Brazil, the oil thins faster and loses protective capacity sooner than expected. It doesn't destroy the engine overnight. It silently shortens its lifespan. 6. Results with 5w-30. Switching to 5w-30 with everything else unchanged, the difference appeared quickly. Average oil temperature dropped 3 to 5 degrees Celsius. Viscosity loss stayed below 5%. Wear metals dropped 35 to 40%, confirmed by lab analysis. Internally, bearings were cleaner. The camshaft retained a stronger oil film and minimal varnish formation. Fuel consumption decreased only slightly, about 0.2 to 0.3 kilometers per liter compared to 0w-20, practically cents per tank, in exchange for much better protection. 7. Why experienced mechanics prefer 5w-30. When we spoke to professionals who have been tearing down engines for decades, the answer was almost unanimous. One summed it up perfectly. If I want an engine to last, I look for stability, not saving tenths. That's exactly what 5w-30 delivered: better thermal control, higher shear resistance, and a much healthier wear balance over time. It doesn't try to win lab tests, it protects metal. 8. Results with 5w-40. The 5w-40 was impressive under heavy use. Oil temperature dropped even further than 5w-30. Viscosity loss was nearly zero, under 2%. Wear metals, especially iron and copper, stayed extremely low. On long highway runs, constant climbs, high RPM, and heavy load, it was exceptionally consistent, a true tank under severe conditions. But the problem is that protection isn't just thickness, it's flow. Cold start circulation was slightly slower. On short trips, fuel dilution retention was higher. In light urban use, the extra viscosity simply increased system effort without meaningful benefits. Practical view: 5w-40 is excellent when the engine is worked hard, but if your daily drive is 10 to 15 minutes, you never exploit its strengths. It's a specialist, not a generalist. 9. Side-by-side comparison. 0w-20, best fuel economy but highest wear and fastest degradation. 5w-30, ideal temperatures, lowest overall wear, best balance. 5w-40, superior under extreme heat and load, but excessive for light use. 10. The real-world winner. In emissions testing, 0w-20 wins. On track or under extreme load, 5w-40 takes the trophy. But for real-world use, Brazilian traffic, heat, mixed driving, and high mileage, 5w-30 delivered the best overall protection. Neither the thinnest nor the thickest, the most balanced. 11. Why 5w-30 won. Strong oil film without excessive drag, stable viscosity across a wide temperature range, excellent wear control, good cold start flow, minimal fuel economy penalty, cleaner internal components over time. It protected better than 0w-20 and flowed better than 5w-40. 12. What is rarely said. Many engines now homologated for 0w-20 were originally designed and tested with 5w-30. The change came from fuel economy and emissions pressure, not because the engine stopped needing protection. That's why the same engine uses different viscosities depending on the market. Priorities change, the metal does not. 13. So which oil should you use? No bias. Use 0w-20 if you drive little, make short trips, live in cooler climates, and prioritize fuel economy with frequent oil changes. Use 5w-30 if you want maximum engine life, face traffic and highway use, live in hot regions, and plan to keep the car for many years. Use 5w-40 if your use is severe, heavy load, extreme heat, aggressive driving, or turbocharged engines. There is no universally right oil. There is the right oil for your reality. 14. The truth off camera. When we asked mechanics what they use in their own cars, almost none of them mentioned the oil listed in the manual. Most use 5w-30 daily and 5w-40 when demanding more from the engine. Rarely 0w-20 unless there's no animus. One mechanic summed it up in a single sentence: fuel economy comes from new